It's doing a little 30-second video of the whole class and probably also recording my voice at the same time. This is engineering 130 AC, a really wild group of people, I have to tell you. And I'm wondering what happens if I put this on YouTube, and there they are. Yeah. And we were talking about alternative media. But I'm fascinated in text and writing text and commenting on text. And so you have classes where we wind up reading text, and this has been going on for hundreds of years now. What's fascinating to me now is that the editing devices for recording presentations are becoming very easy now. And some of them even have the ability to do annotations. In fact, if you take the recordings off of this and just use the content of what you say, but it doesn't show to your friends and relatives. The impact of that is that you could also annotate some segments. And so I could take like an MP3 file, pop it into Movie Maker, and then just have still photos of you, and kind of like, have maybe somebody talking when I notice somebody talking there, and then make a note about who it is and actually see who that is, and maybe quote some parts of whatever we were talking about. Of course, it's a richer medium.
I didn't get your face.
Or a Spanish accent, depending on which one, or a woman or a man. You choose which kind of robot would read your comments. But you lose a lot. And I ask students, why don't you want to hear your own voice? And really, I found out that people found it very threatening. You see, when you record your own voice, there's a very threatening thing about it. It's not just the content of what you say, but it doesn't feel tones that occur in your throat. Your emotions come out. How you're feeling that day, whether you slept or didn't sleep, or somebody died in your family, all those things will affect how you speak on that day. That's going to be recorded too. So it gets kind of hard to hide completely if you eliminate, hide completely if you have voice. But at the same time, it's very rich. There's a lot more contained in the audio than it is in the stream of and all those things will affect how you speak on that day. That's going to be recorded too. So it gets kind of hard to hide completely if you eliminate completely if you have voice. But at the same time, it's very rich. There's a lot more contained in the audio than it is in the stream of what do you find these people? I don't know. They found themselves. They just show up. They're wonderful people. So this conversation, Wednesday seemed like a very powerful conversation. I think there were like 10 or 12, 11 people who stayed behind for a while to keep on talking, which was really amazing. Amazing. And then to make things even more interesting, two of you, Ben and and others, another one in engineering has, it's a little slower. But the upshot is that the conversation continued there. It just kept on going. And then I decided, well, what do we talk about today? And I figured it would be a continuation of what we were doing before, but I went into the forums and found a topic on artificial intelligence. And James started Galactica focuses on AI. What to do with a computer machine which is intelligent. Do we let it run the government such that it runs more efficiently? Or do we create an army of machines to fight our war? Or do we create androids to do our physical labor? And if an AI which exceeds human intelligence exists, then should we replace all our scientists such that the intellectually superior machine would do the research? And James, we're paying attention to you now, to the recorder. There are people now looking at me and talk about you, James. Okay? Hi, James. All right. Although people would consider this idea really far-fetched, I don't think in this day and age you can call anything that. I think this topic is interesting. Personally, I think that if AI robots that if AI robots that exceeded human minds existed, at the heart of the human psyche and the psyche of the robot world would be survival. Robots have to survive. The most basic instincts. In my mind, all the robots could be programmed to be very smart. They would not be able to have conscious thought. Also, I think we should be more weary than all jump to the conclusion that smart robots will eventually turn and kill their masters, causing a Terminator-like war. I think this is a result of excessive imagination and too much watching movies. He said more, but I'll agree to you. And it breaks the laws of physics. The proof of any measure that breaks the laws of physics in order to make us conscious. And Christopher Day, I don't think Christopher's here today. I actually have serious doubt as to whether artificial intelligence can be created. We don't even understand how we ourselves have consciousness, let alone how to produce something else. It is assumed by many that consciousness resides in the brain. So we don't care about bacteria. We just kill them off by the billion. And cows, we try to think they're conscious, but as long as we don't see them being killed. We do it in special practice that are killed. So we're isolated from the episode of killing a conscious creature. If we did see them, we might be much more reverential. Robots and technology. We have thousands of thoughts, but I should shut up. How's the movie going?
The meat industry and stuff like that. Something I kind of think about is that like they wouldn't be there if we didn't want to eat them almost, you know? Like they're born for that purpose almost. And in that way, I care less about the killing of cattle than I would about fishing for, wild fish. That distinction there between raising the cattle specifically for this purpose versus taking the fish out of there.
Well, I like his logic. Bred for slavery.
Yeah, the person bred for slavery versus someone stolen out of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there seems to be an ethical difference there, but with cows. But when you put it on something intense like slavery, that logic kind of like.
Well, it seems with cows that if we go along with the thought that they're not conscious, they don't really know what they're missing, Whereas people are intelligent, they can think, they see their masters with freedom.
Because if they weren't self-aware, then it wouldn't really matter about killing them. But eventually they became self-aware, so you can't really kill them anymore.
You left me in Quincy?
A chance.
Oh, Chan. Okay.
So if they're not aware, if they're not aware of their surroundings and don't care about their existence, I think it's fine. But if they just respond to a system, they're not self-aware yet.
Self-aware. Yeah.
Like,
Respond. I didn't.
Something I've heard about is what